Plaintiff John Fritz says he's known the defendant since they were kids, but they lost touch after the defendant got into crack, meth, and heroin. John claims after the defendant went to rehab, he allowed her to live with him and his wife, but she failed to pay rent, so he's suing. Defendant Brandy Johnson admits that she was a drug addict and says she's been to inpatient rehab 3 times, but she relapsed every time. Brandy claims when she moved in with John, she was clean, but she soon started using again. And since John knew her drug history, he shouldn't have expected to be paid.
Start with you.
Your Honor, Brandy and I have been friends since we were young. Our parents were friends, probably more family than friends. Grew up going to birthday parties, Christmas, Thanksgiving, things like that. 18 years old, we lost touch. She was into drugs, crack, meth, heroin, anything she could.
Everything.
Everything she could get into.
Any kind of high.
Absolutely. I wasn't into those types of things, so we lost touch. And,
those types.
Exactly.
You didn't mention weed, so you were in the weed.
Exactly. Those types.
I won't confirm or deny that. At about 18, we lost touch. About 12 or 13 years later, heard she had been to rehab, got herself together, was looking for a place to stay, and I thought my wife and I could use a roommate and maybe help someone that needed the help.
Okay.
So,
and what year was that?
2011. Thought that maybe I might be the difference between her going back to drugs or getting off of them for good.
Let me hear from you. Give some background before we get to the specifics.
He's right. We've been friends for a very long time. But the only reason we're here today is because he's very mature and he holds grudges. I admit I was addicted to drugs. When I moved into John's house, I had been to rehab, but I soon relapsed because rehab to me was just a place to meet new people to get high with and to get drugs from. John read some pamphlets and assumed that he could save me.
How long did you stay in rehab?
60 days. 60
Only
days. Several times.
How many?
3 times.
And you never intended to get clean when you went?
I guess initially when I went in, I did intend to get clean, but being there, I couldn't wait to get out to get high again.
Did you go to NA when you got out?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have an excuse for that.
Pardon me?
I don't have an excuse for that.
Okay.
I have been sober since September of 2013 with the help of John's brother and now my husband, Josh, and my family.
Did
No,
you go to NA
no.
for that?
No, I just moved and I got away from everything and everybody and I completely made a 180.
How long did you go in the past without using?
Weeks.
How long was your recovery?
Weeks.
No more than weeks?
Just weeks. Only in rehab, then they were 60 days, but
Got it.
immediately upon my exit, I was going straight to the dope man.
Most people, from my observation, when they go to drug rehab, many of them on crack or heroin go several times. Ultimately, I've seen it work for the most part only when they follow it up with meetings on a regular basis.
And maybe that's where I went wrong with my stints in rehab because I didn't follow up with anything.
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
And you're saying your ability to stay clean was a result of escaping the environment.
Correct.
And I am inclined to believe that happens too. I've seen that. My transition from street kid to a productive citizen came as a result of getting out of the environment, going to college. There weren't too many thugs there. Hopefully you maintain your sobriety, and if you haven't been to NA and build up all the particular methods of avoidance, you may fall back into it.
My addiction stemmed from prescription drugs and then eventually got to the illicit drugs.
All right, now prescription
Yeah, 14
drugs.
years
Hold
of
on now. Prescription drugs lead to heroin.
That's right.
Prescription drugs are downers. Heroin is a downer.
Correct.
That pain didn't have anything to do with smoking crack, which is the highest level of high you can get. That makes you. So how you go from wanting to and being addicted to nothing to wanting to and being addicted to
Sir, I was addicted to anything altering my
That's my point.
mind.
So it wasn't pain. It
Right.
wasn't just that pain
You're right.
that led to heroin.
You're correct.
It became, I want to get high.
Defendant Brandy Johnson is being sued by her former friend, who claims he lost touch with Brandy after Brandy got into crack, meth, and heroin.
Tell me about the rent you're suing for. She says it's only because you're trying to get back at her and
Absolutely not.
you're immature.
This is the drug addict speaking now. I'm not asking for money because I feel like she's trying to get out of paying rent. She never paid rent.
Now, what do you say to that, ma'am?
I say that I did pay what I could, and he knew I was an addict. He knew what, he
But you're not anymore. Do
You're
you
right.
owe him?
Well,
How long you been clean?
3 years.
All right, so
In
you're not an
2000
addict anymore. Why haven't you paid him in 3 years?
In 2014, my husband and I went to John and asked if we could make a payment arrangement, and he didn't want anything to do with that. He said, I had a chance to make payments
You're
when
on.
I lived with him, and he wouldn't accept them. And I didn't pay him when I lived with him, so he don't expect me to now. So
he
he
said he
wanted
doesn't
all
want
his
it.
money at one. No, he didn't say he didn't want the money. He wanted it all at one time.
As of 2014?
Yeah.
All right, and you wanted to make payments?
Well, yeah. Yes.
Okay, so good. That meant you saved the money that you were going to make payments with until you got it all, like he wanted it.
I guess you're right.
He said, here, you say you wanted it all, and I saved those 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
And it has come out to $3,500.
Right.
So 2 or 3 years later, I'm giving it all to you, just like you say you want it. Instead, have you saved that money?
I haven't.
So you can't give it to him.
Nope.
Your Honor,
Yes.
when she tried to make the payments, we were at Thanksgiving. We were at our family's house together. She was trying to talk to me about payments that long ago should have been made when they were agreed to. And I just felt like it was the wrong time to be asking me about payments.
So what was your response? I don't want to talk
told her,
about it now, or I want it all at one
This is not the time or the
time.
place. This is not the time or the place to talk about payments.
Okay.
And I told her, if you had all the money, I'd take a payment right now.
It's Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm not the kind of guy to put a meal on hold.
He's trying to say you don't play with your Thanksgivings. But I don't know if that ain't right,
The
man.
truth will set you free.
Not now.
Call me anything you want, just don't call me late for Thanksgiving dinner.
That's right. He said don't play with that Thanksgiving. Not now. All right, sir. And so that's your only defense, ma'am? Is he wanted it all at the same time?
Yes.
That's not a legal defense, ma'am. So I'm gonna have to order you to pay him. $3,500 is your judgment. Good luck to you in your continued sobriety. Have
Thank
a
you,
good day.
sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to say I love my brother, and
I know you do, and I love you. So can we get past this? Thank you. I'm really sorry that I took your kindness for weakness and that I took advantage of the situation. And I appreciate you giving me a home when I didn't have one.
I feel bad for being as mean about it as I was.
But I
at
miss you.
Thanksgiving. I miss you guys too, but
Miss you
I
terribly.
want you guys to be able to see my kids and stuff again. So.
Thank you.